Hello, everybody. I know my videos have been a little bit different lately, but you know what? There has been a lot of different things going on. Not that I don't have time to try to do the main quests and all that stuff, but I got a story to tell you. And if anybody is struggling, and I've heard this before, that people have struggled to have faith in God, that to have faith that things will work out. I've got a God has been showing me so much of where my faith is that there's no way I can even deny um that he's here for me. And I know he can be here for everybody if you have faith in him. But let me tell you this one story that happened Tuesday night, because it's like Friday morning now. So I was working Tuesday night. And I work at a movie theater. So I park in the parking lot. I kind of park away from the main area of cars, just to kind of make sure that I'm not taking up like customer parking. But during the night, me and Kaylee, one of my coworkers, we did like a rock paper scissors to see who was going to do the trashes and um, the stuff on the other side of the counter, and then who's going to do the cleaning of the uh, kettle, the popcorn kettle, and everything behind the counter. And we did the rock paper scissors, and she was going to do the trashes and everything outside there. So excuse me. I was fine with that. I was like, all right, I've done the kettle twice. I know how to do it. But when it got to the time that we needed to actually start closing up and do this, she goes to me. She's like, "Do you want to switch? Like, I don't feel up to doing the trashes tonight." And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, we can do that. If you don't think that you want to do it, I'll go ahead and do it. I have no problem doing anything in this place. I'm the most flexible person in there." um, So I grabbed, the bag of garbage that she had took, um, put it in the cart, went over, grabbed another couple of them, and then started heading out to throw it in the garbage, along with a couple cardboard boxes. Now I took the cardboard boxes first because the cardboard bin is uh, on the other side, far side of the garbage bin. Now, when I got to that cardboard bin, I start hearing a dog barking. And I'm like, who has a dog out here? Where is this dog barking? So I look to my left, which is facing the parking lot, because I'm on the back side of the building. And I look out there, I'm looking for this dog. Like, does somebody have a dog in their car? And I'm looking as hard as I can. I'm like, I don't see anything. None of the cars have a dog in it. And there's not very many cars on that area. So, but I know it's coming from that direction. So as I'm looking, all of a sudden I see where my vehicle's parked, there's another vehicle on the other side of it. And I see legs, I see feet. Now, they're not facing the other car, they're facing mine, my Suburban. And I'm like, what's going on there? So I started walking toward my vehicle. Like, what is this person doing? Sure enough, I see this person trying to open my passenger side door, front passenger door. Can't get it open. So this guy starts going to the back door. And I'm like, oh, this guy's trying to break into my car or my vehicle. And by the time he's trying to open up that back door, I'm already on the other side of my vehicle. Like I can see him through the back window and he can see me. And so once he sees me, he like backs away from the car. And I'm like, excuse me, is there a reason why you're trying to get into my vehicle? And he backs away. He's just like, oh, and he has his hands kind of like in front of him, like he's like, you know, ashamed because he said he's like I'm ashamed. I'm sorry. I'm having a hard time right now. I'm just looking for something that I can sell to get some money for some food. And I'm like, why are you admitting to like you're what? And I'm like, yeah, you're not the only person that's having a tough time out here, but you don't do this. And it's like, yeah, well, I mean, I will leave if you want me to. I'm like, what does that mean? If I want you to, like, I didn't invite you here to come into my try to get it into my vehicle. And as I'm talking to this guy, I'm looking to the left. I'm looking over to um, the entrance to the theater, and I see my supervisor, Kevin. He's looking out the window, and I'm like, oh, he sees this. So I'm like, all right, well, he probably sees that I'm, handling the business or whatever. And this guy is just like, I'm really sorry. I know I don't, I'm sorry. I shouldn't be doing this. And I'm like, yeah, just stay out of trying to break out of people's vehicles. Like, don't, don't do it. Stay away from people's vehicles. He's like, yep, yep. I'm gonna leave. And I'm like, yeah, that's a good idea. And so, but since I don't trust this guy, I'm gonna watch him go leave. And I noticed that he's walking toward this e-bike. Now, if anybody knows e-bikes, you know that they're not cheap. He gets on the e-bike and just bikes away. In my mind, I'm already thinking, if you needed money, just sell your e-bike. Make the sacrifice. You can probably get a good $500 off of that. There you go. Problem solved for a little bit. It buys you more time. But as I'm walking toward the entrance there, my supervisor is like, "Hey, Thomas, what happened?" And I'm like, "This guy tried to break into my vehicle." And he's like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "I saw him walking. I thought he was going to break into other cars." I'm like, "No, I stopped him from breaking into mine." And he biked off, and he's like, "Oh, because I was gonna, take that e-bike and bring it in here to see if it was anybody else's, so that it's not going to get stolen." And I'm like, "I don't know. Maybe he already stole that e-bike. I don't know." This dude, really definitely seemed desperate, but being caught in the act, it was just like he's like, "Oh, I'm out of here." It's like, yeah. Now, after a few minutes talking, and I got back to doing the garbages, I went up to Kaylee and I said, "You know what, Kaylee? I gotta tell you something. If you had not had this feeling that you didn't want to do the garbages, I wouldn't have taken the garbages, gone out there, taken the cardboard to the cardboard bin, which is closer to the parking lot. I wouldn't have heard a dog, which to this very day I have no idea, none, where this dog came from at all. No vehicle had a dog in it. It was like a disembodied barking, but it was getting my attention to look over there, like, where's this dog? And that's when I see the feet and stopping this guy from breaking into my vehicle. So interestingly enough, I said, this. If you hadn't done that, I wouldn't have gone out there. I wouldn't have heard the dog barking. I wouldn't have seen this guy, and I wouldn't have prevented my vehicle from being broken into or stolen or whatever. And we don't know what else would have happened because I would have been inside with my headphones on, listening to music. I was listening to a podcast, but like I had one of these out, so I heard the dog. So the crazy thing about it is like she isn't one to like have anything to do with like religion or Christianity or anything like that. But she's like, "Oh, maybe it was divine intervention." I'm like, "I think you're right." Now, you think that that's the end of this story. But as I'm starting to clean the men's bathroom, I get this strong urge to pray for that guy. Almost to the point where I literally stop my work, like, okay. And as I'm working, I'm like, yeah, Lord, please impress upon this guy to do the right things, to make the right choices. Obviously, I was enough to scare him away from this one because God guided me. There's no coincidence in any of these, in any of the sequence. No coincidence. God had put it into Kaylee to not want to do that. And strangely enough, even Kevin, he's like, I had a feeling I had to just kind of go to that window. I had a feeling I needed to go to the door. God had impressed upon every single person in there, all three of us, to do something. And I don't know if that was a disembodied dog or if it was an actual dog. I don't know. I could not see it. But it was enough to get my attention. And God orchestrated all of this so that my vehicle was not going to be broken into. And not only does that completely confirm to me yet again that God, with my faith in God, He will almost in real time, you can see and figure out He is there protecting you. He is there protecting your stuff, even when it's to put on the hearts of people to do things. Now, God doesn't do that to be like, oh, I'm going to put on the hearts of the person to be a sinner. No, He's going to allow things to happen um, for His will. And allowing it to happen doesn't mean He's orchestrating evil. He's not going to orchestrate evil. Not at all. But He will impress upon people, feel this. Because if you feel this, He's going to do this. And when He does this, He'll be in the way to do this. And I'm going to have this other person here to back up what's going on. And it happens all the time. And it even happened again last night when I was talking with the kids' mom. She was angry at me for whatever reason, just angry. And of course, because I'm the safe person, she wants to take it out on me. And it was a whole huge situation of the fact that she was going to have the kids for the next couple weekends. She was saying that they had appointments. And I'm like, well, let me know what those appointments are for the record. She wasn't going to do it. So it became this whole huge argument. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on with you, but something is making you angry. And I feel bad for you because I don't know what it is. If you would allow me to help, that'd be better. But it kind of ended on a different note of the fact that child support stuff. But today was kind of her. It was her apologizing in a way that was like to try to, what is it, save face or whatever. I knew it was an apology, but she kind of was like, "Oh yeah, this happened at school with your son. He's doing okay, but when you come pick up the kids tomorrow, um, get his antibiotics." And I thought, wait. You had just had this whole huge yelling match to me. Well, I wasn't yelling back and forth back to her. I was just like, "Hey, I'm throwing out information about how I wasn't going to have the kids for the next 2 weekends because there are all these appointments and you don't want to tell me the appointments or any details or anything going on like that." But then suddenly she changes her mind. And I had told my mom what was going on. And I said, well, our prayers will need to be directed on the fact that we just need to pray that she gets rid of the anger. Prays that she makes the right decisions. Like all this is to pray that they make the right decision. And it was because I know that in the next 2 weeks, I don't know if God knows what's going on with my children, even though I'm not there. God always knows. And trust me, when things are happening bad to children, God is angry. That's why a lot of times when I pray, I'm always like, help out children. Always show them that you are there. Because they'll see it. They'll see it more than we will as adults. Because their minds are a lot more innocent. So they will be able to feel the love of God. So with everything going on with my kids, I'm just like, please, put a hedge of protection around them. So she's like, oh, I asked her, it's like, I thought my daughter had an appointment because I was telling her, like, my parenting time, court ordered, you can't just say, oh, you can't have them. No, you can only say that if you change the court order. But if the court order says that I have parentage time, you have to abide by that. It's court ordered. You have to switch it all up if you want to do that, which costs money, and that's money they don't have. So she's like, oh, well, I just wanted to, because she's like, oh, no, she doesn't have an appointment on Saturday. I moved it. I moved the appointments to like more of the weekdays. She's like, oh, it's okay if they miss a handful of school days rather than missing time with you, missing your time with them. I'm like, oh, okay. But once again, I knew it was God answering prayer. Because everything that I've seen God do, I almost now have like this feeling that regardless of what happens now in my life on how bad things can look, my faith in Him, I have to have faith in Him because He has faith in me. And then we have to keep on doing this. In some ways, I don't know if a lot of people understand hardships. They can understand the hardships they've been through, but do they understand the hardships that are going on all the time? Because I myself really do. And that's why I really want to tell people, please, please turn to God. He is showing so much in my life, and I know He can show just as much, if not everything else you need. Ask Him for things. Pray about it. I love the saying, God may not come when you call, but He's always on time. It's a great one. But to know and to have a reason why you want to do this, it's salvation. It is the salvation, Christ's death, burial, and resurrection. That is the free gift of salvation. To have faith in that, not just believe in Jesus. No, no, no. Because even Satan and the demons believe in Jesus. They believe what He did, but they don't have faith in it because they want to destroy everything that God has created. And they want to destroy everything good. But when you have faith in the death, burial, and resurrection, that sacrifice forgave the sins of the world, past, present, and future, you are saved, sealed, and sanctified. Rapture ready, and that's soon to be happening here. But for me, who has had plenty of hardships, still going through hardships right now as we speak, I want to tell you that God is wanting to protect us. He wants us to use His name as shelter. Because He's our Father. So, if you haven't turned to God, if you haven't made that step, I really, really hope you do. I understand hardships. I do. I really do. Um, I'm there financially, emotionally, physically, like all of it. Not so much spiritually because I've been renewing my faith every day. But everything, if you're struggling financially, emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, please turn to God. He will help you. He will. He wants to help you. He wants to say, hey, please come to me. I have so much to give. You just got to admit that you're a sinner in need of a Savior. But, anyways, I got to get going. I got a paper out to help with. So, you guys have a good night. Um, I'll try to be on again later. But, yeah, you guys have a good night. I'm doing some an acting job this weekend. So, but you guys have a good night. All right. Bye.